News is hotting up around Manchester United. Now, we did say that this is always going to happen. Obviously, as we get closer to the new transfer window opening, little sneaky deals on the side and some unexpected talks are starting to appear. They're going to be quite, I think, frequent with Manchester United. Obviously, we're going to have to be very, very clever, like we've talked about many times before in this transfer window. Callum Hudson-OdoiI. I didn't see this one coming. I didn't know that this man had 1 year left on his contract. Let's get into this conversation because this is one of them deals that you look at and go straight off the bat. You go, no, what? Come on, let's not even go there, shall we? And then you actually start thinking about it and you go, 24. Has won every single European trophy there is to win apart from the Conference League. More than any Man United player, you could say, in this current squad. Well playing for Manchester United, that is. And you're like, actually, you know what? He could actually be a weapon for Manchester United. Direct, powerful, strong, quick, and has got an eye for goal and a bit of creation, and has been a big part of what Nottingham Forest have been successful this season with. Look, we're going to go into that. We're going to talk about that deal and what that means. Get your opinions on that. We've got an update regarding Matheus Cunha off Fabrizio Romano, also on Cunha and Delap as well, and Ruben Amorim's approach to what the Ineos ownership model is doing right now. And I want to ask a question regarding what's actually happening with the morale in Manchester United and what Ruben has done. I'll talk about details of that. Adam Wharton, a priority target for Manchester United. I don't know. I'm not too sure. I'm not going to put a definite on this one. We'll discuss the story that's come out about Adam Wharton this morning as well also. And I have got a big injury update to bring you as well. And it's not what you think, I'm telling you. Anyway, all of that in this morning's show. This is Forever United TV. Welcome along to your morning update, everybody. Keeping you informed. Don't need to look on social media. I've got you covered here. Every single bit of news around Manchester United to kickstart your day. Let's get into it. And we're going to start with that Callum Hudson-OdoiI situation. Now, this story came from Damashef from Sky. And I was all too up front and saying it was slow sports news myself yesterday. But sometimes there is a connection and sometimes Sky do stumble upon something. Now, the only reason I'm talking about this is because the Callum Hudson-OdoiI was Damashef last time when he moved from Chelsea to Nottingham Forest. Now, he was the one that was talking this deal and was informed on this deal. So this does have legs. And Manchester United are making options and looking at what is available and other options besides the ones that they know they know that they want but probably cannot afford if certain circumstances happen going into the end of this season, which we all know is around the Europa League and not bleeding winning it, and United just having domestic football next season. Are there other options there? Well, Callum Hudson-OdoiI has got 1 year left on his deal and is stalling on a new contract extension. Very, very strange, this one. His market value doesn't warrant what he's probably going to be asked in terms of transfers. But then that 1 year left on his contract definitely puts Nottingham Forest in a difficult situation. They would stand to probably make profit on PSR and balance their books with a sale of Callum Hudson-OdoiI, approximately 25 to 30 million. Would I spend 25 million on Callum Hudson-OdoiI? Now, everybody's immediate reaction to this would be, Adam, red flag, injuries. Look, he's played enough games this season for me not to be too concerned with injuries and everything else. And where do we draw the line with injuries? Where do we draw the line when it comes to everything that a player has gone through in one particular season? It is difficult, isn't it? It is difficult. I mean, Callum Hudson-OdoiI, let's just have a quick look at the injury record this season. He has missed, let's see, he's had a groin injury and a thigh problem, which have kept him out of 4 games through injury, basically, through the whole season. That is it. And I look at that and I go, well, yeah, I'm definitely taking that. I'm definitely looking at that and going, that's a bit more positive. 34 games for Nottingham Forest this season. His output probably isn't as good as other players that we're looking at right now. But again, United need to be open and they need to be looking at different options. Look, I am definitely not saying he's at the top of my list. I'm not saying that Callum Hudson-OdoiI is going to change Manchester United's fortunes. He is going to be that player that Ruben Amorim is looking at to come in and be a first team regular. Does he get in ahead of everybody else that we've got in our squad? That's the question you've got to ask with Callum Hudson-OdoiI. And where I like him and where I feel like he is
a good player and probably worth the money at 24, around about 25 to 30 million, I look at that and go, could that money be spent elsewhere? Yes, it could. If we're not in the Champions League next season, however, and options are low and certain players are not going to come to Manchester United because we're not in Europe, like Amorim said, then goodbye. You're not coming to United unless you want to come to United. And Callum Hudson-OdoiI is up for this, and it is all big ifs. Still nothing detailed or nothing definite with this deal or anything like that. And so we don't know where Callum Hudson-Odoi's head is at right now either. But I look at it and I would say, if United win the Europa League, forget about this deal. That's all I'll say. I think Callum Hudson-OdoiI honestly feels like he should be a first-team player. He's not started every game for Nottingham Forest. And Nuno Espirito Santo has mixed it up a little bit with his forward line, as we know. But, 34 games this season, 8 goal contributions. Is he ahead of Bruno? No. Would he be ahead of Matheus Cunha? No. Is he ahead of Ahmad? No. You're questioning him alongside Garnacho at that point because very similar numbers in games for them two alone. And then you start to think, that's not a first team 11 player. And then you move away from it. That's just my look and my stance on it. I think he's a good player. I'm definitely not going all out for Callum Hudson-OdoiI. When you look at what I just said then, if we don't get the Champions League next season and we're looking for options in that final third, he does add something different to what we've got, I think. I think he's better and looks after the ball better than what Garnacho does. And I think his end products, you could argue it's debatable his end products. There are obviously highlight reels where you'll see the goal that he scored against Liverpool and moments like that. Garnacho can do the same thing. And you're splitting hairs really between two players. You don't really want to be buying a player. Look, it's one of them, isn't it? If he fits the system of Ruben Amorim, he probably looks 20 times better than what Garnacho does. But it's a big risk when you're not thinking about him being a first team 11 player. I don't want to spend any money on any player unless he's going right into that 11. And with Cunha coming in, and the update we're going to bring you in a moment actually, I don't see him getting in ahead of any. I think he's another squad player. I do. And I get it. I see why United are looking at him. Obviously, all options are open. Cheap deals are obviously a big thing and are something that Manchester United need to be looking at. And Hudson-ODOI, I think there is a definite way in there with that deal simply because he has got 1 year left on it. How Nottingham Forest have allowed this to get to this stage could actually tell you exactly what type of player he actually is. Now, if Forest are not concerned about his contract situation with a year to go, then is there any real, or should there be any real clamour to try and get a player in of this standard, is what I'm saying. The more and more I talk about it, the more and more I'm convincing myself away from it. I see positives, but the negatives outweigh it. Not on the personal side of him. I think he is better than some of the players that we have got. Not all of them. And if I'm even debating that, then it's not worth it for us. And Nottingham Forest would obviously try and get as much money out of us as possible. That money there could literally go and get you a Roger Fernandez at right wing back for Manchester United. That deal there could go and get you another goalkeeper, which we desperately need at Manchester United. And it could go a long way to putting towards getting a striker. At the moment, you're looking at the likes of a first-team player coming in, a starting 11 player. You've got Liam Delap or you've got Callum Hudson-ODOI. Which way would you go? And obviously, priorities take you straight to Liam Delap because we need a striker. And we just need another body in there who's a bit better than what we've got. And if you are going to be spending that amount of money on a player, I would probably rather go and buy a number 9 if available than another player that's going to sit into a squad rotation system rather than being the next best thing to be in Man United starting 11. It's just my opinion on Callum Hudson-ODOI. I just don't see Manchester United desperately needing a player like this. I think it's another player of what we've got. And that's made my decision. It really has. I do. I think that type of player for us right now should not be up there on the priority list. And this story, I'd just like to bring you all of the news that's going around right now. This story is one that I think you can just put on the back burner and just say it's a option if everything else fails. That's about it. That's where I see it personally. I don't see Manchester United really pursuing Callum Hudson-ODOI. Now, Adam Wharton is another story that is popping up onto the social media feeds this morning, and it's a story that's going around from Court Offside, which is talking about Manchester United making Adam Wharton their priority this summer. Now, look, I like Adam Wharton, but the numbers that are flying around from Crystal Palace for him at the moment are scary. They're also trying to, even though he's still got to get this another 4 years left on his contract, nail him down to a new contract. Now, I don't know. If Crystal Palace are trying to negotiate a new deal for Adam Wharton, then that to me tells me that there is a release clause somewhere in there, and there is something in his contract which allows him to leave that Crystal Palace are worrying about. Look, I could be guessing, but why would you be looking to renew a contract that's still got 4 years left to run? He only signed last year, and you're looking to make a new deal already? Maybe somebody's found something out within Adam Wharton's contract, whether it's agent-wise or club-wise, recruitment team looking into this deal and seeing maybe a way to get Adam Wharton out of Crystal Palace. Then by all means, pursue it. Try and find out what's going on there. The priority side of things on this report, I don't see that being a definite either. Look, Adam Wharton is a great player. 21 and is one for the future. He more than fits Manchester United's profile of player that we're looking for right now. And that, I think, is what's attracting Manchester United just to even be looking at him. And him being there as an actual option for Manchester United. So, Adam Wharton, yes, I would take at Manchester United in a heartbeat. I wouldn't pay the prices that Crystal Palace are throwing out there. This is a young English player that has had one really good season in the Premier League already. Has been hit by injuries already in his early career and has just started to come good again towards the back end. Has been a big part of Crystal Palace making it to the FA Cup final and having a great season under Glasner at Crystal Palace. I think he is one of their stars, one of their stars of the season, and I do think that Crystal Palace could build a team around Wharton. I don't see him staying. I didn't think he would move this summer simply because he's only been a year into his contract, well, 18 months near enough by the end of this season. And contracted in for another 4 years on top of that. I thought it might be next season, but maybe there is something in that contract which allows him to leave for another football club. Maybe someone's found something in there. I don't know. I'm guessing at this point, and it could be anything. But in terms of them two players, Adam Wharton, Callum Hudson-OdoiI, other options for Manchester United. You look at Adam Wharton at 21. You're looking at what else is coming through from Manchester United right now. The inconsistency of availability of Toby Collier has been a big disappointment for Manchester United this season. It really has. I don't know where he is, and I don't know what's happened to him and this injury and what's going on. Maybe he will be fit and could possibly feature for the Chelsea game. He has been training on his own, and there has been pictures of him doing his own work, but that's been a big disappointment. Manuel Ugarte is a problem. Casemiro's not getting any younger. Bruno's dropping into that role. You can see why number 8 is a priority position for Manchester United, if not 2 signings. Now, obviously, we've heard about the talk of Sekou Kone coming through, and hopefully soon we will see it. Jack Morehouse as well, also knocking on the door for that midfield role for Manchester United. And it comes down to, again, Manchester United. Do we go out and spend Brewsters, go and spend big money on bringing in a player like Wharton or another midfielder, or do we actually go out and... go out and find the player that will sit in there that's exactly what we need, and then allow another midfielder to come through. So by that I mean, like we discussed yesterday, and we confirmed last night, that Ederson is a top target for Manchester United. Now, at this moment in time, going off the finances, going off the qualities and what we've got, I would have Ederson over Wharton still. Now, I'm not saying that Wharton isn't as good or can't get as good. I think Wharton is a fantastic footballer. I really do. I just don't think Manchester United have got it in them to pursue him at the prices that are floating around for him right now. He isn't a £70 million player. I'm sorry. He's not. And that's the numbers that are going around for Wharton right now. Now, and you can see why United are looking at Hudson-Odoi at the 25-30 million mark, possibly, as an option. But Wharton, I think he fits the profile, but he doesn't fit the package. Definitely not. I think Ederson is probably more what Manchester United need right now than Wharton. And I'm not looking at that in quality. I'm just looking at the affordability factor. What you can get Ederson in, and that quality that he's got at maybe £20 million cheaper. Yes, he's a few years older, but still mid-20s and plenty of years to go. But that experienced player, with the likes of Morehouse and Kone and Manuel Ugarte playing around him as well, Toby Collier, and maybe that quality of player is what we need, and we could bring through one of our academy midfielders as well. That's how I would look at it anyway. And I think that this, for Manchester United, has to be top priority in making sure that we buy the right midfielder and we give our academy players the right opportunity coming through as well. I feel like right now, and Laurie Whitwell of The Athletic has said Manchester United are taking a very aggressive approach to the younger transfer market, so the younger players this summer. I get it, I do, and I've bigged it up, and I'm bigged it up to no end. And you've all seen it on the shows that I've done. I think it's great that we are now tapping into that market and making sure that we are not left behind like we have been years before. But at the moment, we all know what Manchester United need, and it is first team regulars. And this only comes with buying the players that have got a little bit more experience. The profile of Matheus Cunha is exactly where Manchester United should be looking right now. And that is a perfect signing for Manchester United and what we need. It 100% is where we're at. And I feel should be to similar signings as well. So, and when you move to that number 8 role, that's huge, because that's a massive, massive position in Ruben Amorim's system. He needs to be the right mentality type of player. He needs to be right physically, and he needs to be the most energetic player on that pitch, because he's got a lot of work to do if it is only 2 midfielders in that system. And you've got wing-backs doing your work, and you've got 2 10s, which are dropping in and out, yes, but are mainly there to obviously support the main man up front, the number 9. The midfield role at Manchester United is key right now, and I think it has to be Ederson. Personally, I think he ticks all of the boxes of what United need right now, and then younger players coming through under him, I think just works for Manchester United. I really do. But looking at that, I think United right now, Ederson, Cunha, another number 10, I think would work perfectly for Manchester United. Obviously, like the Hudson-Odoi transfer rumour there, I would prefer somebody else in there, I would. And I get why we're looking at another 10, because I do believe that United are going to make big changes in the outs, like we said before. And I think we are going to be selling quite a few players. Look, that's Wharton. That is Hudson-Odoi as well. We're going to bring on some other news in a minute. I want to get into the chat right now. Thank you, everybody who has already given the video a like. If you're loving the content, pop a like on the video, people. Thank you so much. Let's get talking, shall we? Corinthians says that we have no chance of getting him. Not sure why you're talking about him. Let's look at a free market and a nice brisket of barbecue. Oh, Corinthians is downbeat, done, dead, and not a happy man. I can't blame him, to be honest. Thanks for your comment, mate. But I'm going to try and stay a little bit more positive and upbeat, even though it does look a bit gloomy around Manchester United right now. Our pre-season is going to be massive this summer to blood a few young players to see if they can break through to the first team. We may have to depend on a few of them next season. It's true, Stephen. There is massive discussions going on at the moment regarding the academy players that are going to go and feature on this Malaysian tour as well, which we fly out for a week on Sunday. Crazy how we're talking about a pre-season tour that we fly out for a week on Sunday, and the season has still got 3 games to play, including a cup final. That's mental, isn't it? It is full on Manchester United non-stop right now. And this is why there is no plans for a presentation night, which has been announced by Manchester United as well, because we're out on a plane straight away after the season finishes. No time for a bus parade if we win the trophy. No time for a presentation night for Manchester United, their own award ceremony. And obviously, we're going to have a barbecue if we win the Europa League, because that's the quickest thing we can do. Get everyone in, celebrate that on the Thursday or the Friday, and then back to training, play Aston Villa, then on a plane, pre-season, here we go. That's Manchester United's next couple of weeks anyway. It sounds strange, doesn't it, that we're actually talking about the pre-season side of things and who's going to be playing in a couple of weeks' time in a friendly, when we've got so much to decide yet in one season. Also, we need established players that are 25 plus, so there is some experience into the team. This is where Cunha and Ederson roll into it, to be honest, Radu, and that's why I said it. Let's see what we got. Adam, 8 is a position where we can't afford to door knock. Can't afford a door knocker. If it's an academy player, they have to be so good. They kick the door off the hinges and demand first team football. Yeah, I don't think there is anyone there right now that is doing that, mate, to be honest, Ant. And I think this is why the the majority of Manchester United's summer spend, I have to think, does go, well, a big part of it does go towards that number 8. It has to be, because these players that are coming through can get better and have got great potential. They are not of the quality, like you just said then, which is just kick the door off the hinges of Ruben Amorim's office and said, I'm starting. None of them are at that level. They need to come through and they need to be nurtured, and they need to progress at their own pace. And so if that is the case and you haven't got that in your locker, then you need to go out and spend that money on getting that number 8 in. And I just feel like Ederson is the right call for us right now. I really do. But Adam, if we win the Europa League, we might can play PSG or Inter in the Super Cup. Yeah, we can. I don't know why that's relevant. We will be playing one of them in the Super Cup, obviously, going into next season, but that's not thingy right now. But a chance to win another trophy, of course. And if United do strengthen in the summer, I mean, the chance to go and play in the Super Cup final, be part of the Champions League for these players that we're looking at, could be a big lure to Manchester United. It really could. So, yeah, I think, again, all leading towards next week and that massive game against Spurs. Age is only a number. João Neves is running the PSG midfield at age 20, and Desiree Doué is lighting it up at age 19. Don't need to be 25. Yeah, but you got to pay a premium for them types of players, mate, and they're hard to find. And what we're looking at right now is possibly having the potential of that in our side, but we need someone there to help them out that we can afford. That's the difference. PSG can afford to go out and buy Neves. PSG can afford to go out and buy Desiree Doué. We can't. And we're not in a position to do it. So we have to do it a little bit differently. And we have to be on this. We have to be more than on it going forward. Right. So let's move on to everything else that's going on right now. We had an update from Fabrizio Romano last night regarding the Matheus Cunha situation, which is good news for Manchester United. As we know, this deal has been in the offing for a while. We're just going to keep you up to date. I'll keep you informed on everything that's going on. Them talks have taken place that we was reporting the week before last. Manchester United are discussing the details of the agreement with Cunha and then ready to meet Wolves to find a solution on a payment structure. Club remained in positive talks. It is thought that there is a verbal agreement now with Matheus Cunha to Manchester United. That is in place. That's the story that most people have been reporting. I've seen that come out a couple of days ago. I've waited for other people to come in and reconfirm that, really, and Fabrizio Romano has done that. Matheus Cunha will be a Manchester United player. The structure and everything that Manchester United need to do, he's going well, and obviously the player and his entourage are happy with the terms at Manchester United. We know the player wants to come. That is where we're at with Matheus Cunha right now. Apparently there is 5 million in add-ons, though, as well, in bonuses for Matheus Cunha, on top of the 62 million that United will also pay. So creeping up closer to the 67 million pound mark for Matheus Cunha, which is why everybody last night and yesterday was going in. United will end up paying 80 million plus euros for Matheus Cunha. I said it last night, like trying to build Man United up to bring Man United right back down again. That's what they're trying to do. And they always inflate the prices to the maximum that they can to make it look like Manchester United are spending fortunes again. Look, Cunha will be a Manchester United player. And again, we're just a week on Sunday. I think everything's just going to move fast forward and go like hellfire, I think, in terms of this transfer window. I do believe that Matheus Cunha, by the first week of June, will be holding up a Manchester United shirt. I do. And that, I think, will kickstart our summer. And it is a very, very good signing to start Manchester United's summer, especially after what we might have been dealt over this next week. I am very nervous for what is to come for Manchester United over this next 3 games. I just feel the negativity could overload. It really could, because I know what's going to happen on Friday, and then I don't know what's going to happen next Wednesday, and then I do know what's going to happen on the final day of the season. It's going to be a pretty dire atmosphere around Old Trafford. If Villa have got something to play for, that's going to be a hard game for Manchester United. It really is. It's going to be a hard one for the fans to watch as well. It really is. Just a quick one, actually. I wanted to update you on all of the injury situation. You may have seen stories going out from Sully yesterday regarding Joshua Zirkzee trying to get back. He won't get back for the final. He's not going to be available. I don't think he's even going to be available for the game against Aston Villa, which is a week on Sunday. He's back training on his own and doing recovery work on his own, Joshua Zirkzee, right now. And that, I think, is big news, good news for him. Maybe we'll get him on the tour in Malaysia. That's what you could look at this stage. I think that's what we're hoping anyway. So when we look at Joshua Zirkzee, it would have been really good to have him back in the squad going into this busy period. It really would. But honestly, as long as he's back, fit, and raring to go for pre-season, I think that's our hopes for him right now. In terms of Matthias de Ligt as well, Manchester United day-by-day updates on him at the moment. But the big one that everybody's talking about and wants to know about, I've been told, Sully informed me yesterday, in fact, that Lenny Yoro is walking around Old Trafford on his own, drove himself into Carrington, so no concern in terms of his day-to-day activities. There was no protective boot, there was no crutches. We've seen him hobbling out of Old Trafford in that game the other day, but Lenny Yoro walking around Carrington is the update. So that is big news for Manchester United. If he's walking around and free and he's doing it on his own with no help, i.e. crutches or protective boot, that is a very, very good sign. I've got no update on the training situation and schedule for him at the moment. All I know is that the scenes and the pictures from in and around Carrington are that Lenny Yoro is walking unaided, and I'm just waiting for that injury update. But that's good news for Manchester United. The fact that he's driving himself into training and walking around Carrington tells you that this is not a bad injury. So we're waiting on the update in terms of the structure of his training programme leading into next week. He won't play against Chelsea. And everything is earmarked to try and get Lenny Yoro fit and available for the game against Spurs next Wednesday night. That's it. That's all that matters regarding Lenny Yoro right now anyway. Right, let's get a few more comments in, shall we, on everything that's going on. Where are you at, everybody? I think we have from for bringing ourselves down. I'm not sure what that's on, Jeff. Sorry. Al says we should have hired the former Chelsea director of football, Marina. She called the Iron Lady because she was tough negotiator. Look, I don't think United have done bad with negotiations themselves so far. I'm okay with it. Adam, you have an agenda against Garnacho. I love comments like this. He is one of our best players. No, he's not. And I'm just being real with that. He has been a big letdown this season, like the rest of the squad mates. I don't have an agenda against him. I said I hope he's here next season. So you're obviously not listening enough, Alan. Come on, mate. You've got to do better. And context, if you're going to have a go at me, is very much appreciated and needed. Otherwise, I'll just pass it off as a laughable comment, mate. Just being upfront as I am. As always. Unfortunately, that's the price that we have to pay for top-class players, which is what I had to do, what we had to do under Ferguson at times, i.e. Rooney and Ferdinand. We are going to have to pay big money. As much as I like Cunha, I hope United are waiting to see what's what first in terms of what, mates. We need to get the balance of the midfield right under the manager or the next. Look, Manchester United's priority has to be 9s and 10s. I get that. They're the two areas that United are lacking big time. We have competed. No, midfield's not the best. It's not. It's nowhere near. But we have got more than enough money to buy a 9, buy a 10, and then go and buy an 8. That can happen. So, yeah, we need people that are going to be consistently and more clinical in that front three. It's as simple as that. That's where United need to be. Too many distractions. Amorim should have just played the kids. That way, these final games would be more acceptable, and we could just focus on the final. He could have take a look. He could have taken the heat off himself. I don't think so, mate. I think it would have made it worse. Red Army reactions. I think it would have made it worse because he would have then been seen as the man that threw the Premier League completely away. At weekend, at least we've all got the excuse to say that these first team players have let him down again. But if you're playing the kids completely through, the blame all falls on Amorim. You can't blame the players. If these players cannot beat West Ham at home, then it's a good thing that he actually did play them so everybody can see what they're really worth. And that, I think, was important And I think Amorim did it right. I really do. Annie with a super chat. Thank you, buddy. The academy is a victim of the era they belong to. Our fame and no sacrifice, all fame, no sacrifice, and playing for the badges. Maybe for players, address the lads about what it takes. Talent is common, passion is rare, and we are passion at the moment, and we need passion at the moment. We do, but we don't want to be full of passion merchants that haven't got the quality. It's finding that right player. Honestly, man, it all comes down to recruitment, mate. All comes down to recruitment. Now, Liam Delap as well, by the way, the update on him. That was going around yesterday quite a lot, obviously, but this now looks like Manchester United have got their man. Like there was a bigger report last night from Sky as well, after they originally came out and said it looks like he is going to. He's preferring a move to Manchester United. The word from Sky was that even without European football now, the sense is that Liam Delap has made his choice and looks like he's heading to Manchester United. It does look like Manchester United are about to spend just shy 92 million, 95 million in fact, on Liam Delap and Matthias Cunha. It is an improvement for Manchester United. It's real investment. And these are two players that Ruben Amorim definitely wants. Someone sent a comment in the other day. It should be Amorim who picks these players, not the structure. Completely disagree with that. It needs to be both. This is where United have gone wrong before, by allowing the managers to do whatever they want. There needs to be a proper profile of player in play at Manchester United that we go and recruit. I don't think allowing even Amorim to go out and buy the players he wants. Look, Wilcox and Vivel, and like Laurie Whitwell said yesterday, they're at the forefront of everything. Right now, Christopher Vivel is out on a scouting mission for Manchester United summer. They are the important ones in this. They know what Ruben wants to do. They know what Ruben wants to play like. They're the ones that are going to get all of these players available out there, bring them to Ruben, and then the decisions are going to be made. That's been a genuine conversation that would have been going on forever and a day behind the scenes. Jordan, welcome to the Members Club again, my friend. Thank you for that. Barbara says, so Rasmus needs to go. He'll do well in Italy. That is something that we have talked about, a possibility of Rasmus heading out of Manchester United to Italy. Yes, but if it's only Delap, then Rasmus can't go anywhere. I fear it being just Delap and Rasmus next season, I do. I still hope Manchester United are going to get another striker in. The Victor Gyökeres stories to Arsenal are gathering real momentum right now. It does look like Arsenal are really well and truly in on Victor Gyökeres now. It's going to be one of them where we end up looking at these top strikers, but our rivals end up taking them. When you look at the strikers that the people just in the top 6 alone have got, when you look at the likes of Isaac at Newcastle, you look at Haaland and Mamouche at Manchester City, Salah at Liverpool, then you go into Arsenal, they haven't got a striker, but if they bring in Gyökeres, that's their top striker. Then you look at Chelsea, they haven't got one, but they bring in Osimhen, Gyökeres, Isaac, Haaland, Mamouche, Salah, all of these clubs right at the top. You could even add Villa to that with Watkins as well. All got 20 times better strikers than Manchester United. We do need another one. I keep saying this. We do need to go out and get another striker, I feel. And I just don't think Liam Delap is enough on his own for Manchester United. And I think there's a lot of Manchester United fans who are thinking exactly the same way. Compa Smurf says that Gyökeres won't decide till after the season's over. Got a cup final. I think looking at the stories and the noises, when you start hearing what Gyökeres wants wage-wise, and that's the latest coming out from the Arsenal side of things, is that it's getting very close now. And so, again, like, you can easily say that, Compa Smith, like, end of the season, decisions are made. I think it's easy to say that because nothing can be done officially until the season is over anyway. But there are so many teams alone in the Premier League and teams above us in the league. Well, actually, above us, it's pretty much everybody. But teams above us that are desperate for a striker right now. The market is tight. The market is very, very difficult indeed. And I feel like right now United are right up against it. And this is why we're going in and just trying to make the Liam Delap deal happen. At least get somebody through the door early so we've got another striker there. And then we can maybe look at what we could do in the rest of the window. But I think get in earlier, get at least somebody through the door who is better than what we've got. And I do believe Delap is better than Rasmus Højlund still. And I'll argue that point with anybody. Rasmus Højlund is useless for Manchester United. He really is a poor, poor striker. I'm still devastated that we spent all of that money. I really am. But I think Manchester United could look at a few other strikers as well in the market. I mean, it's not been definite on Jonathan David yet. You've obviously still got the Delap situation that's going on. Players like Vlahovic as well could be something that happened later down the line for Manchester United. Ekitike could be a player that Manchester United go in for if we get into the Champions League. There are other strikers out there. I just like, nothing's been said about Jonathan David, and I'm just holding out and just still got that little bit of hope that something might happen yet with Jonathan David. Hopefully. We cannot just get Delap without fixing the spineless spine. We can't destroy another striker's career. No, I think Delap will have a lot more support. And if Rasmus stays, which I hope he does as a second striker to come on and make an impact, I think a structured attack, creating chances, great support for the forwards might help Rasmus Højlund. I mean, when you're running through and you've got Garnacho who isn't playing the ball to Rasmus and he's kicking up a hissy fit and whatever, look, I think it's Rasmus to blame as much as Garnacho on that situation. I mean, you cannot complain. Like when Ahmad puts it clean through to you like he did at weekend on a plate and you cannot finish it, then you clearly haven't got what it takes to be a Manchester United striker or even a top striker. In the Premier League, I feel. I don't think he gets into many other clubs in the Premier League, Rasmus Højlund. And that's saying something. And I'm going right down there as well. I'm going right down there. But yeah, let's get some more comments in quickly before we move on to our next story. Adam, leave it to other fans to slaughter our players. Where is the loyalty? Pat, shut up. Honestly, mate, like, come on. Don't have a go at me saying that I'm going to sit there paying the amount of money that I pay to watch Manchester United underperform week in, week out, cheering them, shouting at them every single game I go to, and I cannot have a go at one of our players. Come on, mate. You've got, honestly, like, every single fan has got the right to go in on our own players when they're underperforming, especially on what they're on and what they have done. I'm not having any of it. I back the manager over any one of these players, and I'm always going to keep saying that. So I'm going to keep on having a go at them, mate, because they deserve it. They deserve to be criticised. And where is our big club mentality? It's like Ruben Amorim said, we've forgotten what it's like to fear losing a game. Like the acceptance within Old Trafford the other day. It's, oh, yeah, another game. He's taking the piss. So, yeah, these players need to be slaughtered. These players need to be heavily, heavily criticised because they are a disgrace to the shirt at the moment. And I wouldn't lose sleep if any of them left the football club. I've said this before. So, no, I'm not going to stop criticising them. They deserve to be criticised. And every single Manchester United fan and every other fan in the country deserves to have a go at their players. It's as simple as that. It comes with the territory. I'm sorry. Delap is a cheeker for me. When we need a Robin van Persie. Like Chicharito is what you mean there, Ant, I think, yeah? Let's face it, we need to get Osimhen, says Boxing. Can't see it happening. Romano reported David was in talks with an Italian club a few days ago, says Tyrone. I think he's been in talks with a few, to be honest. He really has. Would it be nice to listen to all the previous managers post-Fergie in a room explaining what went wrong with who? Oh, that would be a fly on the wall that you would want to be, wouldn't it? You only have to look at what Louis van Gaal said and what Ralf Rangnick said. Like, these players, honestly, have thrown so many managers under the bus. It's disgraceful. Absolutely disgraceful. And they need to be hung up. It's about time these players actually got the spotlight on them instead of the manager taking all of the flack all of the time. I get that Ruben has made mistakes. I really do. I really do. And I heard a great call on the radio yesterday regarding Ruben Amorim, and the question was put to the caller, has he improved any player at Manchester United? And he looked through the players and he would go, I think he's got more out of Ahmad than what Ten Hag did. I feel like I think he's got the best out of Lenny Yoro, even though Ten Hag didn't get a chance to see Lenny Yoro. I think he has improved this season as well. Honestly, I think Ruben has improved a few players at Manchester United. I really do. I think he's getting more consistency, I feel, in terms of performance and attitude out of Garnacho as well. I do. I think Garnacho is getting better under Amorim, but honestly, that quality at the end of the day that Ruben cannot change, and his decision-making when in that situation on the pitch, is what Ruben can't do. I think Ruben is getting Garnacho into the right areas and he's learning well, but he can't control what he does on the pitch and when he makes that decision. But the caller also said, and it was a great point to make, it's like, can you see what Ruben Amorim is trying to do on the pitch? And then the reply from him was, well, can you see any player giving 100% into Ruben Amorim's system? Have they give Ruben Amorim their full commitment into playing the way that he wants to play? And the answer to that is the players haven't. You look at what Manuel Ugarte did on his knees after making that mistake against West Ham the other day that cost us the goal. Still on his knees as they're attacking in the box. There isn't that discipline there in this squad. And I think Ruben now is at his wit's end. I really do. I think he's got to a point where he's going to go into this summer, and I said this yesterday, this is the good thing about how United are playing in the Premier League compared to the Europa League, because the Europa League could give us that get out of jail, obviously, and the Premier League form is just proving to everybody that these players are not fit to wear the shirt, and so many of them need to be moved on in the summer. And I think Ruben's there with that right now. And if they are going to back him in the summer, then we're going to see a lot of these players moved out, or we're going to see a lot of these players not feature next season for Manchester United. That, I think, is exactly where Ruben Amorim's head is at right now. Talking of Ruben, I mean, morale within Manchester United is a question I want to actually put now. I've heard many a times from sources in and around Carrington that morale is low. It's on the floor and nobody's happy. I mean, there are more cuts coming in terms of jobs as well. It's gone under the radar. More job cuts at Manchester United. A barbecue to celebrate winning a major trophy. No bus parade, no presentation at Manchester United, and staff having to fund their own tickets to go to games. I haven't really got a big issue with that. But Ruben has bought 30 members of his staff's friends and family's tickets, accommodation and travel expenses to go to the final. Ruben, out of his own pocket, has funded 30 staff members, family, friends and personal expenses to get to the final. That, I think, is admirable, obviously. But again, I asked the question, like, the ownership of the football club is saying no, and Ruben's gone and taken it upon himself to get this situation sorted for a lot of his staff members. I'm thinking, is Ruben thinking in his head that this is probably wrong? It just seems like there is nothing really to be cheery about at Manchester United at the moment. And where my hard hat head is looking at this is like, they don't deserve anything. Forever and a day we have said that it is just a summer camp at Manchester United. And I'll never forget me saying that. I think these players have got away with murder. I think they've been well protected. I think the inmates have run the asylum for so long. And now you've had somebody come in and just gone, no, this stops right now in every single way. And we all have been moaning about how the soft, sort of centred Manchester United approach has led this club down this disaster path that we're on right now. And we need that hard hand, someone to come in and just absolutely rip this up from top to bottom. I feel like this is what Ineos are doing and nobody's cottoning onto it. Like, everybody's moaning at the moment because we need something to complain about, somebody to blame, really. And Ineos do have a big part to play in the blame. Like, they have made massive mistakes at Manchester United. And I'm torn between what's right and what's wrong with this final in the staff members getting access and taking and costing a fortune to the club to actually get everyone there. Like, should they be doing it? Should they be funding all of the staff members? It depends what staff members it is. How far down does this go? All the coaches are going. All the important people are going. Does it need everybody from the club to go to a final? Is that right? Am I being too harsh here? I'm posing the question. I'm putting it out there. I just feel like I think people are digging this out a little bit too much. A barbecue to win a final, it's not right. No presentation night. If you win the final, I think there should be a presentation at the club. You've got to celebrate a trophy, at least I feel, because it's been massive for the club. And it's going to fund a lot of what we need to do this summer and fund next season with what they've achieved. Some people may think that isn't right. Look, I'm stuck. I keep going back and forth, and you can hear me now, probably listening in, arguing with myself on this right now. Is it right? Like, these players don't deserve it. They've been appalling, and they don't deserve any plaudits or praise for their season. That's right. But then again, I'm thinking, do we need to actually lift morale a little bit and give them something and make people happy? A happy work environment gets better performances usually, doesn't it? And I'm stuck. I mean, I'm not in there. I don't know what's happening in amongst everything. Maybe few of these players need these hard truths. Couple of super chats in. Thank you, everybody who has super chatted through the video as well. One, first of all, from Domingo says, a tough season, but one thing that has been great is the content on FUTV. Thanks, Adam and Kaz. I love that. Thank you very much, mates. Really appreciate that, Domingo. And one from Ray as well says, what Amorim doing to pay out his pocket is the reason why I stopped paying 66 quid to go to games. The INEOS structure, mate, Ray, is what you're saying there, isn't it, pal? Like, not happy with how things are run. Look, next season for United will be very interesting. It will. I can't say if I'm looking forward to it or not yet. Obviously, I look forward to a clean slate and a fresh start, and everyone has that upbeat vibe, and they're a little bit excited for something new coming in, start to a new season and whatnot. But honestly, I don't know at the moment. Like, I'm sort of like stuck. If we finish strong, we win the Europa League, and we maybe get something against Villa, I'll be going into the summer all optimistic, looking forward to the new season. But unless I see significant changes this summer, then I'm going to be full of fear and trepidation going into that new season. Clubs not obligated to take family members overseas. Let's get real. Manny with a super chat there. Diddy says it isn't right, Adam, as in not taking the players or not getting a presentation. Fred's got a question, says, Adam, do you think the Glazers are happy with what Sir Jim is doing? No, I don't, mate. I really don't. But if all of a sudden Manchester United are more successful on the pitch and it starts making Manchester United more money and we are more efficient in terms of the finances, we start to run at a profit, the club becomes more valuable with the new stadium, I would say in time the Glazers are going to be happy with what INEOS are doing. At the moment, they are taking a ton of heat and everybody's looking at Manchester United fail. And if Manchester United don't win that final next week, then you've got to say it's been an absolute disaster for INEOS in their first season. There is one game that could salvage everything. And then in their first full season, you would have to say INEOS have claimed a trophy and a major trophy. And that, a lot of people would say, is a success, especially with it being the Europa League and getting us into the Champions League. So financially, it's been a success. And on the pitch, you know my thoughts on the Premier League. It will always be a failure of a season. Even if we win the Europa League, it's a failure this season. But in financial circles and how the club are looking at it, management-wise, maybe they'll look at that and go, it's been a success because we've covered the failings of the Premier League by winning the Europa League. They've got the finances of the Champions League. They've saved us money from Adidas through not being in the Champions League 2 years straight. There has been a lot done by INEOS in that first season. Sean, welcome to the Members Club. Gifted by London. Thank you again, mate. Love that. Contributions are mega. Thank you, everybody. Absolutely brilliant. So give the Academy and ladies an awards ceremony and make the entire first team be waiters for the whole night. About time they earn some humility. Yeah, can you imagine? Oh, God, yeah. In our world, yeah, we would love something like that to happen. Can you imagine trying to do that? And try and make these players do anything other than get soft-soaked and looked after while earning fortunes? Yes. The Realist says, Adam, great show. FUTV family, have a great day and stay safe. I have to go, so catch you later. Have a good and Realist. Enjoy your day, mate. And on that, actually, I think we'll wrap up our show there as well. Fantastic comments. Fantastic comments. Great one there from Babs as well. Yes, Everton keeping Goodison Park open for Everton ladies football team. That's good. That's brilliant. And I just wish United would have done something with Old Trafford for our women's and under 21s team as well. Let's Let's just see. Sorry, Adam, but how would you like it if you took over MUTV and it was a mess when taken over and having to make cutbacks because of previous owners who ran the channel left it? I don't know where you're going with that one, JE. I've just defended the fact that we've had to make some big decisions. Kind of confusing how you've come across with that one. Maybe you shouldn't have put sorry Adam at the start of it, mate. I don't know, JE, but yeah, I totally get what you're saying there, pal. That's the point I was just making, that big decisions have had to be made, and some people can look at it from the outside initially, but in time, these big decisions may turn out to be the right ones for Manchester United. Well, it's happening, which is the moment now. We are looking at this in a certain way. Nothing's right. It's chaos. Everybody's unhappy. Nothing's going right. In time, because of these decisions, it may look like it is the right call. But yeah, cheers for the comments as well. Everyone, an absolutely brilliant show. Mods in the chat, brilliant job yet again. Thank you so much, everybody, for being part of the show. Brilliant show this morning yet again. We're nearly at the 300 like mark, so if you do love the content, pop a like on the video, everybody. Thank you very much. Make sure you have hit that subscribe button. We keep you fully informed on everything going on around Manchester United, day in, day out, live, 7 days a week. Keep informed by hitting that subscribe button. Hit the bell notification. I will see you all later on today. Stay tuned. Maybe more content coming midday if any updates come out. We'll be back later on this evening as well. Back on the normal schedule of 6:30 today as well. By the way, last night Alfie won the final 6-2. He played a blinder. He captained the side. He picked up the trophy. Absolutely brilliant night. We did an early show last night because I was at that final. But FC United's under 18s absolutely smashed it last night. League and Cup double. Brilliant. Absolutely fantastic night. So yeah, big up the boys last night. It was more than worth it. Long season, and at least one United got the job done anyway. Let's see if our boys can do it next week, eh?